So, the great work, I'm going to give you a definition to begin with, man. The great work I would define as the most powerful, deep, and transformative work that you can do as a human being. You can also understand the great work as enlightenment. Pursuing God, pursuing higher consciousness. It is literally the greatest thing you can possibly do whilst you're alive. Now, you may already be familiar with this because the great work is also, you could say, the spiritual path. If you actually pursue the spiritual path, where does it take you? It takes you to God. Everything is about God. That's what you start to realize when you pursue the great work. Now, here's the thing. You may not realize that you've been doing the great work, but actually you've been doing the great work. See, most people start out with, self-improvement, self-development, that kind of thing. Maybe they'll move into sort of self-actualization, a more mature form, we could say, of that kind of development work. But then you start getting interested in self-transcendence. You start to become more spiritual, more in tune. You follow that intuition. Where does it lead you? Oh man, it leads you to yourself. Yourself! What's yourself though? It's God. You see, now we don't mean this with any kind of belief system or religion or anything like that. No. You are being. You are consciousness. You are the absolute essence of everything. And you already know this, man. Why am I explaining this? Okay? Now, because you know, you've understood, you've awakened. Yes, that's what awakening is. It's realizing that you are spirit. Now that you know this, the work is to carry over all of you and all of your stuff into this pure light and white light and goodness. Yes, you could say it is to transform yourself into a godly person, a godly being. Now again, don't get too bogged down with this idea that you need to be, all divine. But actually it's true. Because think about it, man. It's only your ego that takes issue with that. If you're listening with this mature part of you, you know that you can actually purify yourself and transform yourself. You can use the great work to become yourself. Who's yourself? Have you ever discovered that, man? You ever asked, who am I? Who am I? Seriously, man. Do you know who you are? Do you know? Even if you just get a little touch, just a tiny bit, what you experience is higher consciousness. You experience spirit, God, being. This is who you are. This is what you are. But it's not enough to just experience yourself being God. What you want to do is you want to appreciate something called metaphysics. You need to have a metaphysical understanding. You need to honor and respect metaphysics. You need to love this, I'll be honest, man, when I started out, that sounded like a really technical spiritual term, which I didn't really know anything about. But then as I began to mature, I actually realized that I had metaphysical insights. I started to contemplate, even my very insight, is that a physical thing or is that metaphysical? Where is that insight happening? How is it happening? Who's having it? Is there anyone having that insight? What's going on there on the level of reality? Yes, these are the kind of questions you might ask yourself. But, you'll take it way deeper, man. And then there's one other thing that I want to say about what you should become interested in. Manifesting the kingdom of God. As you transform your consciousness, that will be reflected in your life. You will see it. You will actually be able to see heaven. You'll understand finally, I finally get what people have been saying, scholars, philosophers, wise people, when they use these metaphors or analogies or whatever, or they refer to the Bible, you finally get it. For me, man, for so long, I just never truly got what they meant. I was yeah, no, I kind of understand you, but not really though. That means not at all. But then you're oh, I see what you mean. I see that the kingdom of God is here. And it shows itself, it manifests, it becomes your what you see. when you do the internal work, when you purify yourself and you become godly, you become divine. It is when you live a sacred life. Dude, there are so many distractions. There are so many things that you think you should be doing, that you're programmed by society and everyone around you to think that you should be doing. Maybe you're even doing some of those things and you're like, oh God, I'm not meant to be doing this, man. My soul is not meant to be doing this. Yes. For me, even, for example, like, even just working out, like, I realized at one point, I'm like, man, like, why am I working out? Like, seriously, let me deconstruct this. Why am I trying to get as big as possible? You know, why am I drinking this protein powder, bro? Ugh. I don't drink protein powder anymore, bro. I don't consume that. Nothing wrong with it, man. But I just don't want to be big anymore. Like, I just like to work out and, be athletic and stuff. And, yeah, they're kind of toned and stuff, which is cool. You know, you'll probably still care about your physique. I know I do to a degree. But yeah, you got to question everything, man. And you got to realize everything's just a distraction from the great work. Because when you start doing the great work, you're like, oh my God, man, where have I been? What have I been doing, bro? You come to the great work and you're like, oh man, yeah. Finally, my soul, oh man, it just feels so correct. It's like the one thing in your entire life, oh my God, it's perfect. It's perfect, man, literally perfect. You know, when I meditate or when I have a ceremony or when I just go deep into my spirit, what comes through is just, it's perfect. It's perfect. But you know what happens when I'm not in my spirit, when I'm, pursuing or chasing stuff? I'm like, oh, am I there yet, bro? Like, fuck. You just never arrive. You never arrive when you do that stuff. There isn't the great work. So, yeah, man, I hope this speaks to your intuition. It's not for your ego. It's for your higher self. Absorb it using your soul and your spirit. And then you'll listen. Because you've got to listen from that part of you, yeah? Okay. My friend, I hope you can feel the magic that is present here. It is nothing to do with me. It's the great work. Anything that you see in Seb is the product of the Seb guy doing the great work. It's all God. It's all spirit. Yes? So I want you to really feel this. Because when you get inspired, when you become awake to this, you will want to do it and you will do it. And, you are doing it. Because taking this content rather than some other crap is you, in your own way, in your own time, doing the great work. Yeah. Okay. So, man, we are going to wrap things up here. Good luck with the great work. Good luck with pursuing truth, God, and yourself, my friend. Lots of love. Take care. And as always, man, peace.